Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the season finale of the 2026 FI F4 Esports Danish Championship, as brought to you on the premier sim racing platform available only on PC, known as iRacing. We have made our way towards the northeastern coast of Spain. Last time out, we of course the Circuito de Navarra, and there it was tension. There was a championship on the line, but things have been decided there, and we'll bring you up to speed on that right now, because here in the present, we're here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, a circuit that is a staple of international motorsport since its opening in 1991. Whether it be Formula 1, the GT World Challenge, European Series, or the FIA World Endurance Championship, it was raced here and used this circuit typically as a pre-season testing circuit. It's easy to understand why. Located near Montmello, this circuit is one of those which has a little bit of everything. Sweeping bends, hairpins, long straights, you name it, it's got it, and it is perfect as our host venue for our season finale of our Danish F4 Esports Championship. But of course, as we get ready to go racing today, where are my manners? Allow me to welcome you all to this live broadcast from Circuit Side, and in the content booth you have myself, my name is Paul Walsh, and alongside me is the ever-talented and ever-technically-minded Daniel Klausen. Daniel, good evening to you, and how are you doing today, good sir?
Good evening, I'm really fine. I'm looking forward to seeing how the points will dribble in the other directions. So yeah, let's get to it.
100%. And ladies and gentlemen, with regards to the points, of course, there's plenty up for grabs here today, as you see the championship standings in front of you now. Now, to give you a quick summary, Mordet Edrup is your champion-elect to the 2026 championship. In theory, he cannot be caught today, as he was able to secure enough points to take the crown last time out at Navarra, given the fact that in race number 2, I should say, of round 5, it all went very wrong for Victor Nilsson, with his front wing coming away from the car, and therefore it did see his car taken to the pit lane. So therefore it means all Edrup needs to do today is finish the races, and even if he doesn't score any points, he will be crowned your champion. Therefore, Victor Nilsson, it's all about the runner-up spot. Currently at the best part there of 15 points ahead, with Miguel Seegor chasing after him, but Seegor's got a lot of work to do in order to try and usurp the man who was run-up last season and is looking to be run-up again. But then in fourth, it's the battle between Luke Reimer and Frederick Kierkegaard and Sander Broberg as well. The trio separated by only 10 points there, and we're keeping a keen eye on Kierkegaard in particular, given this is his debut season, and to finish inside the top 5 on a debut season, that would be a major achievement. But that's exactly how the standings stand at this current point in time, and with Sebastian Bach and Noah Carlson, two of the big names, they're trying to weave their way into that top 5 as well, which is all definitely to play for. But as we head to circuit side, well, by the looks of things, we may already be missing one of our big actors here today, and I do believe, Daniel, you may have spotted that I think we're missing Victor Nilsson from the grid.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, because he has something to fight for, because just below his points we have Miguel Seegor, which is actually in the camera right now. So he can take P2 in the championship if he does. But looking at doing laps right now, I see the track is only 19 degrees Celsius on track. So they really need to, 26 degrees, but they need to warm up their tires right now. So the first lap will definitely not be the fastest.
100%. It's going to take them a bit of time to get the tyre temperature up. And I mean, we did some laps of our own around this circuit, shall we say, albeit a bit differently from what our drivers will do. I don't know, Daniel, if you want to elaborate that. The challenge of driving this circuit, particularly blindfolded.
Yeah, we did the little skit last night, days ago, that I had a blindfold on, and Paul was my driver, telling me to go left, right, and it did not go that well. But in combination with that, we made a little competition. So if you're watching this stream right now, you can actually go watch the video on Instagram and take your guess here on the live stream. Just write your best guess on what lap time I did. And then we have a couple of prizes from Lovely Dash, our sponsor. And you can win simply by typing in what lap time you think I did blindfolded around Circuit de Catalunya historic layout.
That was absolutely brilliant fun. Of course, from the fun that we had there, and we do encourage you guys and girls tuning at home to get involved in that competition. Well, the competition right now is definitely heating up here as we see our first flying laps come in from our drivers. Miguel Seegor there initially going at 5th place, but already look at that. The top 5 separated by not even a 10th, and that's their first flying laps. I mean, we were talking about the fact this circuit is going to be so closed, and then all of a sudden, Mordet Edrup comes out of nowhere and says, it's not that close. I'm going to put 1.5 temps over everybody.
Yeah, true. But again, they are heating up the tires. They can still do, I think, 2 laps yet with 5 minutes and 40. So yeah, things will change. But it's nice to see a different name on the top actually, Aske Lauritsen and Mikkel Njord. So let's see if they will keep it at that momentum.
Indeed, we'll see whether Aske is able to hold on at the very top. Now, some of you may have noticed there in the Timetown left-hand side, we do have William Fries listed as sat in the pit lane currently, and the reason for that is he is carrying a penalty over from the previous round, which has required him to have a pit lane start for race number 1. So sadly, we won't be seeing the number 22 make its way out onto circuit for qualifying, but we promise you, you will see that car out of circuit. We do go green flag racing, but we do look to our second place run at the moment of Aske Lauritsen in the number 21, of really concentrating. And from your perspective, Daniel, as a driver around here, when you are pushing hard, of course, this circuit's got a lot of corners which are really long, such as the final corner there at turn number 13. I mean, you really have to use the downforce on these F4s to get the best possible lap time.
That's true, and of course keeping the momentum, and also be very aware of the track limits. As you see there, he's definitely on the limit, but then he can carry the speed onto the start-finish line here. When he finished his lap, what lap time did Leroy do? It's very close, 2/10. That's very, very close. But yeah, track limits is something you really need to look at here. The downforce helps you in the high-speed corners, definitely. And you said there's also like this track has everything, but with the historic layout, I would say it's a very fast-paced lap here, and you keep this is probably one of the slowest corners, and he's down. Didn't even see the speed of third gear, but yeah, you really utilize the skills of the car, or the capabilities of the car with the wings, keeping a foot on throttle as much as possible, as you can see Luke is doing here.
And that's one of the funny things as well, driving these cars when they have so much downforce on them. It sounds contradictory. I mean, I gave the Formula 4 a try the other week, and the fact you do have to drive these cars with the philosophy, which is you need to drive faster to use the downforce. It sounds backwards, where really you should be perhaps conscious of your speed, but the quicker you go, the more the downforce works to your advantage, until it gets to a point where you can't use it. But you can't hesitate with these cars at some of these corners, can you?
You have to commit. Now we have, I see Marcus Fischer joined the chat as well, Twitch. And he knows how important it is to keep momentum as well in some of the cars. But we have 3 minutes remaining. And we have Mikkel Njord ahead of Malte Ebrup, which is really, that's looking really good. Don't know if that's an X on William. William, one of our youngest drivers. Did he get the lap?
To see as he comes across the line, I don't think so. I don't think that counted, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, he was very wide at that one. Usually it's very clear to see that you cannot have all 4 wheels outside the white lines, but at some particular places on track, and you will learn this as you drive, it is okay. And then it's a different place you measure. You really need to have some track knowledge on the different tracks where the track limits are. But this is essential to keep a good lap. I think the green astroturf there, if the middle of the car passes that, then your lap will not count, even though all your 4 tires are out on that line.
And the great thing, of course, and if anybody's sat there right now thinking, well, how exactly do our drivers get to know the track limits? Do they have to drive laps of the circuit in order to find out? Partially, yes, when you're doing a lap, but also the brilliant thing about iRacing is it does tell you from circuit to circuit whether the track limits are purely the white lines. If you put X number of wheels, so say 2 wheels beyond the white lines, then you end up with an off-track. Sometimes it will say for corner 10, for example, I'm just making this up out of thin air, but it will say actually you can use all the curb on exit, you're not bound by the white line. So that's the great thing about iRacing. It is very particular about where the track limits sit, and our drivers will do that research. They'll also go do slow laps around the circuit. They'll poke a wheel across the white line to just find out exactly how far they can go, as we do see Aske Lauritsen there really pushing it hard. Currently full fastest. Does he go a bit faster this time? 1.5 tenths off. The answer's going to be he goes to third. There's a bit of a smile on his face there. He's happy with that lap, and well, I think he feels though that's the best lap he's done all day. I think that face says it all.
Yeah, and very nice to see some different names up there. So, and as we talked before we went live here, nothing is settled behind Malte actually. You would think that Victor is keeping P2, but since he's not in the race here, then I think is it Luke that's really needs to get some points. Right now he is on P7.
The Luke Reimer being one of the potential candidates, another being Miguel Siegel, who right now, as I look through the towel there, I don't think we've got Miguel Siegel here either, so it does seem as though second and third could be settled unless Luke Reimer can pull an absolutely magical set of results out the bag.
He's on P11. He's on P11.
Oh, indeed. Good spot there. My eyesight's absolutely terrible today. You can definitely tell I've not had my mid-morning coffee.
At least you didn't have a blindfold on driving the track recently. It was so difficult. You made it sound so easy. Just left here, right here, and I had no clue where I was. It was really fun. As you said, you can recommend doing this with your buddies. It's really fun.
Oh, 100%. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, qualifying is done. 10 minutes is up, no overtime, and with all the drivers putting their laps together, well, it's been a tight qualifying session, only hundreds and thousands separating the drivers. Of course, the big question is, how exactly do they all line up? And here we go then. So, taking pole position for the first of our season finale races, it is Miguel Noor for baseline driver training, his best qualifying performance of the season. He is joined on the front row by champion-elect Morde Edrup, the 2025 champion, looking to become back-to-back championship winner. Then we do have Martin Bertelsen just behind the Arctic Sim Racing driver for Open Mind Racing, only in the end 300ths of drift, and it was a further 100th to Asger Lauritsen for Forever Racing, one of his best qualifying points of the season. Frederick Kierkegaard starting fifth there, the baseline Esports team, who has taken one win this season and hoping for more, ahead of Sander Brobert, who rounds off your top six for Arctic Sim Racing. Then we do have MT Race Teams, Noah Carlson starting 7th in the number 2, just ahead of Leroy Mount Ross, the youngster for Kinetic Sim Sport there, in the top 8 once again. He was 2 tenths off the pole, but 14 thousandths behind him was Luke Reimer for Arctic Sim, and then we did have CS55's William Runfeld starting in 10th. Albert Puddup starts 11th there in the wonderful number 12 machine for Arctic Sim, ahead of teammate Miguel Siegel. And after the struggles for Siegel in qualifying, Marcus de Kilson starts in 13th, MT Race Team ahead of Magnus Johansson, with Nicholas Lund starting 15th ahead of Albert Palle. And then we do have William Fries, who'll be starting from the pit lane, of course, so therefore he'll be right at the back of the field. And completing our 18 starters will be Philip Igor. So that's how they all line up, ladies and gentlemen. 18 drivers making the journey here today to the Catalonian circuit, as the last of them get into position on the grid. Well, Daniel, I think we are almost ready to go here for the first of what could be an incredible race.
Green flag.
Yes, and T1.
Well, it's lights out and away we go there. It's a bit of a slow start, I believe our pole sitter, and Morde Edrup immediately jumping ahead of Miguel Noor as Martin Bertelsen gets on through. So it looks though there a bit of a sleepy start, but for our number 19 driver now trying to come back on in towards turn number 1 they come. And as they do, 2 by 2 they roll the way on through, and it'll be right into left here. But oh goodness me, that's going skyward there, and I believe that is, I'm trying to see who that is, but that's gone very high. That's number 21, and that is Asger Lauritsen. Well, we'll probably end up with a replay of that at some point, but definitely not the way you wanted it to go, taking flight there before he's cleared the first 2 corners. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, top 3 starting to spread out a little bit, but fight for full place. It comes down towards turn number 5, absolutely tight here, Daniel. They are absolutely shine. It's the final day of the season, and they're all going for it.
Yeah, there's points on the line, and remember, the tires are cold right now, so taking chances can be quite expensive, and what a shame for, yeah, it looks like my lap with the missing tire, I see. And one more, had a spin right now. Clean rejoin, please. Sander Brobert, that's important points lost there, because he was actually in contention for not podium, well, maybe podium actually today.
Oh, indeed. He was chasing after a top 5 as a minimum for this season, but 3 wide into turn 10 they go, and right now that's going to be William Runfeld there, battling right in the middle. He goes to the Moses manoeuvre. Magnus Johansson on the outside. It's getting elbows out between them, but when you squeeze that much into one corner like that, you're always going to get your elbows out. He goes very sideways. They're cold tyres and power oversteer, and as he gets it back together, coming back into turn number 12, he survives that just about, as Albert Palle, meanwhile, in the Phantom machine, sits behind right now, waiting to get involved there. But Frederick Kierkegaard, well, as we head down that start-finish straight, we're talking about how powerful the tow will be here in the build-up to today. And well, Kierkegaard showing it, as does Miguel Noor, cutting to the inside. Daniel, 1 lap down, and Noor trying to take the lead.
Yeah, and a good thing we talked about as well, the draft is quite strong because T12, T13, and then on the long straight. So, and it all culminates here on the T2, T3. And look how wide the track is. There's so many options to attack and overtake and defend. So, yeah, lots of battles already.
Plenty of battle in action as we look a little bit further down the order here. Drives side by side, coming through turn number 4 and practically going the whole first third of the lap side by side. Indeed, sector 1 running all the way down to turn number 5 here, and then you go into the middle sector, as we do see our number 10 of Magnus Johansson trying to go around the outside. Can he get ahead of Niklas Lund for completeness into turn 6? The answer is no, not quite. Lund's still there trying to get Johansson to go wide, but then he does just hold it. Does our number 10 driver into 12th place there with Lund and Igor behind. But this is what happened at the very start, and in the end was Lauritsen just hanging off the rear tyre of the number 20 of Martin Bertelsen. A completely innocent mistake there. I think Bertelsen had just got it a little bit wrong coming out of turn 1, and that really was it afterwards. And then we did have this spin for Sander Broberg going through turn 6, and just a tap of the wheels there unsettled the car and sent it around. Thank goodness he did not spin back onto the road there. I think that could have been an absolute nightmare otherwise.
Yeah. Do we have Mikkel Njord? He's not making a gap, is he? That's impossible ahead of... now we are on the straight here. Will Malte attack and show his complete dominance in this season? Or will he stay behind? Oh, we have a spin in the back. How did he do that?
We do indeed. I believe that was one of the drivers right towards the back, like you say, going all the way around. I'm not quite sure. I think that was Martin Bertelsen who got it wrong there, coming out of turn 13. Not an easy place to get it wrong unless you go very wide to the gravel normally. I'm sure we'll get some answers on that. But to your point only moments ago, indeed, Morde Edrup having 8 out of 10 wins this season, and right now trying to chase down what would be a 9th win to really assert his dominance. But Mikkel Njord doing everything he can to stay ahead, and Fredrik Kierkegaard there. But here's that replay, Daniel. What exactly has happened?
I'm looking. I actually think maybe he has some damage to the wing or some aero, because he's been in trouble on lap 1, so maybe the car was damaged, because that didn't look natural. You can basically go full throttle there. So yeah, I think the car was damaged.
Well, appreciate your insights on that. Indeed, I'd agree with you. Perhaps the damage from the contact for the opening couple of corners really just upsetting the car. But as we come now back to your live racing, top 3 on your screen, we're running on board with your 3rd place runner. And, well, Fredrik's been a very good driver this season, having chased down multiple podiums and even a win. He's probably thinking he's got a chance here of doing it, because he's currently 5th in the championship as well.
Yeah, and looking at Mikkel Njord again, sorry, it's quite funny, because in the championship he only has 28 points. If he gets this win, he will elevate his position substantially in the championship.
100%. He'll practically be doubling or achieving all the points he's done over 5 rounds in the space of what is one race. Right now, for Mikkel Njord, he'll be definitely wanting to make this magically happen, but coming down towards turn number 1, we see Morde Edrup there just sitting behind once again. Again, he doesn't need to risk anything. He can really just act as player number 2 in this. Meanwhile, drivers behind definitely risking things for the biscuit. As we do see it, William Rundfeldt there on the inside into turn number 3. Albert Palla trying to go around the outside, and that's not going to work. Tried the switch back as well. That didn't work. And right now, can he find a way into turn number 4? Well, Rundfeldt goes defensive here. Trying to go all the way around the outside of Repsol Bend. Is it going to work? Not quite. They slide around, and still Palla having to wait just that little bit longer.
And the track just opens up for possibilities to attack, but also defend, and then you can go attack on the next corner. So I love to see these battles that just carry on from multiple corners, and it's not all over in one. And in a moment he's gonna get the draft on, down into turn 10 in a moment here. So let's stay on this camera and see if he sends it at the bottom picture here. Meanwhile, Mikkel is still keeping it, but we're having a train now, so nothing is settled yet. Oh, there's an attack there on the outside, which will turn to the inside, but he's running out of... Oh, he's keeping it. Can you see it, Albert?
He's going to go for it. He's going to the inside.
He got it. He got this. Yeah, but then it comes along straight. They don't have battery in this one. You need to have momentum and draft. That's it's very pure racing, you might say. And now we have a 3-way battle there. And in the front, what's happening?
Well, at the very front, we've got 3 wide one. That is going to be Fredrik Kierkegaard. He goes to the Moses manoeuvre, and my goodness, does he part the seas? But here comes Morde Edrup back up the inside. Mikkel Njord looking down the outside. They all go a bit deep. They touch wheels, and as they roll the way out towards turn number 3, Kierkegaard right now just holding on. And Edrup there, you can definitely feel as though right now he's quite restrained. He wants to get into the thick of this. He knows he doesn't need to. As they come towards turn number 4, well, everyone fanning out here. The train spreads, and Edrup goes immediately up the inside there. diving in, and 2 wide they come through the right-hander. Well, your leaders side by side. Luke Ryman now side by side with Miguel Nuhr as well. 2 by 2 they go. No, this isn't Noah's Ark. This is the circuit of Barcelona. Catalunya, but that's getting sent sideways there for Luke Ryman. A bit of a tap and car round. That's Miguel Nuhr who's gone round. I think they've touched wheels, and unfortunately Nuhr's had it go very wrong for him. So suddenly he's looking to double the points, and it's all gone backwards.
That's racing, you know. One thing we need to take note of: you said that Malte is a sure winner and true based off points, unless he makes a big mistake and gets a lot of penalty points. But it doesn't look like that right now. Something else happened in the back. Did you see what happened?
It did seem as though one of our other drivers a bit further down ended up in a bit of side-to-side contact. Couldn't quite discern who it was who had it go wrong. There's so much happening literally up and down the field at the moment. I can definitely say that we've got plenty of action here, and we're not even halfway through race number 1. Our top 3 are starting to break away, but look who's arrived at the front of the field. We've been waiting to see him get there. He's got a smile on his face, that wicked smile he always has. Noah Carlson, Daniel, he's in 3rd, weaving the car from side to side and wondering when to go on the attack.
And he's the only one who's not in the same team. Luke and Frederik and Malte are on an Arctic Sim Sport, so he can really disturb the field here.
Well, he may be disturbing the field only after the top 2 have disturbed each other as they go side by side through turn number 3. And Carlson at this point watching this very closely. Now, where do you go at this point? Do you go inside? Do you stay outside? Or do you just stay behind?
I think he will stay behind. He's a smart racer. 10 minutes to go, and they're battling this hard. So I think they're actually having fun. Honestly, doing parallel in through all the apexes. This is it's quite entertaining to watch, honestly. But you do not know who will win. And you see the white and purple car, which is Malte's. Again, he cannot get too many penalty points at least. And again, Victor is not here, so maybe he feels very open and free.
Well, he looks like a driver right now. He's just turned up for his first day of the season. He's never raced in this before, with how fluid he's driving and without a care in the world. But I think right now he's got that confidence, which is, you know what, I can trust the guys around me. And that's the thing we have seen all season long. That's why you get these 2 free wide moments, because these drivers, they've raced each other time and time again. They know each other like the back of their respective hands, and therefore they have that respect, which we love to see. And well, as we do see our 3rd place runner there of Carlson trying to go for a move. Here's our youngster Leroy Mount Ross, one of our youngest drivers on the grid, just really being run wide there by Aldert Quadrup. But as they come down for turn number 12, it's going to be side by side every step of the way. And right now he just has enough space here to hang it around the outside. Will he be run a little bit wide? Yes, he will, but he should be okay for that. And as he rejoins, well, right now that battle between the 2 of them absolutely running to the limit. But we get the wonderful split camera here. Your leader's coming down towards turn number 1, and then we see the battle between Quadrup and none other than his rival further back as they all come in towards that opening corner. 2 wide at the front going through that bend, 2 wide further down the order going up through. Indeed, it's 2 by 2. This is not a formation lap, and right now, well, I can tell you one thing. I think they're trying to get us to lose our voices before we get to race 2.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And 9 minutes remaining still, and nothing is settled here. I really like that Noah is keeping close, keeping an eye on these 2. I wanted to say with Noah, that he is currently P7 in the championship, and if he could take even a podium here, P3, that would elevate him as well, especially because Sander Broberg, his nearest competitor, the guy ahead of him, he's on P16. So these points are really, really worth it for Noah.
That's a really good spot there, and I'll be keeping an eye on it. I do have a little spreadsheet in the background to try and do some quick maths between the races, if we do get time, of course. But right now, as our drivers do go side by side in towards turn number 10, well, Kierkegaard there defending, will touch with Morten Edrup, and Carlson right now, he's watching this, he's building out the confidence, and I think, like you say, Daniel, he knows he can go for a win here and potentially leap his way into the top 5 of the championship before it's all done. But he's got to pick the right time to go for it. But what this fighting is also doing is it's now bringing to Kilson, Reimer, Quadrup and Mount Ross all back in. So suddenly what was a 3-way fight for lead is now becoming a 7-way fight for lead again. I mean, how many times have we seen this? As I believe we've got a penalty for our number 2 driver there.
Okay. Is that Noah?
Just double checking that. Well, no, Castle's go for it. Yes, it is. He has got a penalty for something from earlier, but he's not heard about it right now as he tries to go around the outside. He's going to run out of road into turn number 2. Somehow survives it, bringing it back on. Everyone fans out in the end. I think they all knew what was coming there. And Mio Furback, Quadrant and Kierkegaard side by side coming out to turn number 3. They're going to battle over what will be 5th place there, but we can see right now Modern Edrup clear at the front a little bit. Fight for second now really takes precedence as they make the way through the long right-hander. But Carlson there on that inside, puts into the outside of the hairpin, and we can see there fanning the flames. That's Luke Reimer squeezing away. Big lock up on the front left brake from Reimer. And Frederick Kierkegaard there on the inside. He does clear what will be to Gilson, but he doesn't get ahead of Reimer.
This is, I don't think every car will survive this. This is really, it's a hard battle. But remember, we're gonna have a reverse grid on Heat 2. This is Heat 1, and the top 8 will reverse the grid. So if William will be P1 in the next race if it stands as this.
All very true, and the wonderful thing is as well, if you're looking at the times, ladies and gentlemen, you see we do have that green line between 8th and 9th, so that will just give you a reminder of where we reverse the grid from for the purposes of our second race of the day. Now we do have a bit of confirmation. The penalty is a 10-second post-race time penalty for Noah Carlson, and it is causing a collision on lap number 5. So that was an incident a bit earlier on, and things can get a little bit hectic, but still he's carrying on right now. Indeed, once those penalties have arrived, you just have to get on with it. It's the steward's verdict. Indeed, much like in real-life motorsport here, we do have a live panel of stewards monitoring the racing, and they do have to make some very quick decisions as to what's the penalty and what needs further review after the racing. But don't review that, as that's going to be a move up the inside. Hold up, that's rain. I didn't know we were going to be seeing rain today.
Where did that come from? Okay, well, only in that corner or what? No, here it is. It's more and more rain. It's actually quite a lot, and spray is starting to come. So with 5 minutes remaining, that's a surprise to me. I did not know that even is possible today. So interesting.
They're all on slick tyres at the moment as well. They do have a wet option available to them, but nobody's going to be diving into the pit lane unless it becomes monsoon season out there. But this is going to make things even harder now as the rain lights do come on. A little bit of slide loose on the inside of turn 5 for Noah Carlson. Kierkegaard's going to go around the outside and well try and look all the way through. He's still got Carlson on his inside as they head up the hill, but coming out of turn 7 in towards 8, he will be safe now. And that's just going to give him a little bit more confidence that he can hold that 3rd place as Carlson. Keep in mind, wherever he finishes this race, he will be demoted back 10 seconds after the race is done today. But meanwhile, that side, 3 wide almost there, as we do see our number 13 on Leroy Mount Ross, keeping Albert Quadrant behind just for a little bit longer, but Quadrant doesn't let him go. These two, I mean, they've been like this for the last 4 laps. They don't know anything other than going side by side at this point.
That's amazing, and it's really good racing, good respectful racing, and high precision, as you see that. But they really have to adapt now with the rain coming down. Of course, you will lose too much time going into pits now with 4 minutes remaining. But for the next race, they will all put rain tires. But the last 4 minutes here is going to be interesting because the rain will have a big effect in a moment. Definitely, I'm absolutely sure of that.
Oh, indeed, and well, of course, we only saw rain over at Skogan Motor Centre a few rounds back in round number 3. Oh, big sideways went there for Kierkegaard. He goes round, lots of traction on the car, and in the end, as soon as you say it was going to have an impact, Daniel, I mean, you're like a mystic. You just predicted that would happen straight away.
Yeah, well, yeah, just look at the screen. it's crazy. But I'm curious to see who will survive this. So I think they're going to be a bit more cautious now, and let's see.
I guess the question is, in these situations here, of course, you need to keep tyre temperature, so you need to drive at a pace, but the more cautious you are, the slower you end up driving. So is it, you've sort of got to take the risk to get the reward of tyre temperature, but by taking the risk, you put yourself at risk of spinning or having moments like that. And
also, the curbs will also be very slippery very soon, so they need to adapt very hard. So these 3 are...
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a big run wide. That is Luke Reimer there taking a trip to the gravel, and well, you don't want to be playing sandcastles there, and particularly not trying to build one out of what is soggy gravel. But as he makes his way in towards turn 10, and will not make that mistake twice. And well, the concentration levels now through the roof. We've got this lap, plus most likely another 2 to go. We are currently lapping what is around the 1 minute 50 mark based on the pace this time. You can see they're all slipping and sliding out there. And whilst we do see our third place runner coming on down, ooh, that's not the way you want to do it. Very sideways there and slide out onto an exit curve. My goodness, these last 2 laps, Daniel, I mean, you're absolutely right. They are going to be on a knife edge, these laps.
Yeah, and Luke, as you just saw, had a moment there. He's on P3 right now, but he has some serious points up for grabs ahead of Mikkel Siggaard, actually. So yeah, he wants the points to close in.
Well, Marcus de Kilson tries to find a move on our leader at the moment, or the Edward at this point, trying to become a 9-time winner of the season, trying to go for what would be an absolutely unprecedented record of wins. But de Kilson still hanging on behind, looking left, looking right. And right now, the man who's currently 10th in the championship, if he does take this win here, he would be leaping his way theoretically up into 8th going into our final race of the season. So that's his hope. And we always see 2 wide behind. That's Noah Carlson and Leroy Malmros still fighting over 4th place. But oh, that's to the gravel. Luke Reimer goes wide again.
Not good.
That's not good at all. He's really struggling in these conditions.
Yeah. So definitely a different, some interesting battles here, and nice to see some different names up there. Leroy on P3 right now. This is really good. I was asked in chat about how many points you get. What is it? P1 gets 20 or 25?
25 points it would be for the win and 1 for the fastest lap.
Okay, like that.
But interesting little thing that's happened in the pit lane. We're saying about not changing tyres. Asger Lauritsen has come in and put wets on. I wonder if he thinks the conditions are going to get bad enough that they're all going to come off the circuit before this race is done.
1 minute remaining, and we don't have the white flag, right?
Not yet. We'll be expecting it the next time around. So therefore, we've got 1 more lap to go here. Although Mordet Edrup and Marcus de Kilson literally pushing each other to the limit. And at this point, well, they're more going sideways around the circuit than going straight, but no longer touching those curves. And now the white flag is out. Here we go. 1 last tour of the circuit for this penultimate race of the season. 2 wide at the roof of the field. And here they go down towards the braking zone. It's going to be Edrup on the inside, de Kilson on the outside. Nobody wants to touch that pit line because it just cause the cars to slide on the braking.
There we go.
And there's contact between the 2. It's disaster there, and I think they just both slid into each other. And Leroy Malmros is going to try and take the lead. He's going to try and go around the outside. It's not going to work, or is it?
Does he have wet tires? It's like he has wet tires on already. How is he doing that?
I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing right now. Could the driver who we've absolutely loved watching and seeing get into the thick of the fight, could he take his first win of the season here? And indeed, we've yet to have an interview of him, although we almost did accidentally have an interview of him a couple of rounds ago. But right now, Mordet Edrup trying to go around the outside of him. It's not going to work into turn 5. He goes wide, Edrup's off the road. And suddenly we've got a 2-driver race for the win here. Malmros versus Carlson as Edrup drops back to 3rd place here. My good Lord, Daniel, this is all over the place. It's all,
you know,
this could be wide there for Carlson.
Oh no. If Noah just keeps it here, actually his 10-second penalty is not of a big effect as it was just earlier, right? Because they were all within 5 seconds. Now they're like 6, 7, 8 seconds apart, so that's not a big... yeah, he's gonna gain some points in this race. But are we seeing Leroy taking his first win, and in these treacherous conditions? That's really amazing.
It is, but don't say he's done it yet. We still got 3 quarters to go. Anything can happen in motorsport, and it normally does because he makes his way out of turn 11. That car is sliding still. He's in a car that's okay, but right now he's just got to keep it on the road. Little by little, the Kinetic Simsport driver, final corner, he comes on down, and as he slides his way through, with Leroy Malmros, the smile on his face is there. He takes his first win of the season. An incredible conclusion to our first race of the day here at the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya. He's almost made me lose my track of the circuit. He's absolutely up and down with joy, and we've just got to make sure he keeps it clean as he cools the car down, because we are still stewarding this, but he'll be absolutely ecstatic. So go on, Daniel.
He got 7 positions up in this race, actually. That's really amazing, and incredible effort keeping it on track in that switching condition and rain. He really had patience as well, and going side by side all these laps, you know. and in the end, adapting to the wet weather, and Malte Edrup even making a mistake. That's an amazing drive. What a talent.
Oh, 100%. An incredible conclusion to the race. I mean, when the rain... It was already an incredible race before the rain arrived, but when the rain arrived, it made it even more incredible. And, well, here are the provisional results, ladies and gentlemen, subject to any stewards' inquiries, because after 12 laps of racing in race 1 of our season finale round, Leroy Malmros taking that first win that has escaped him several times this season. 1.4 seconds behind was Noah Carlson for MT Race Team, who will have a post-race 10-second time penalty, but it will not be applied here. It will be applied to the results after the round is complete. So therefore, he will be starting 7th on our final grid of the season. Morde Edrup took 3rd ahead of Albert Paller, with Albert Quadrup, Marcus de Kilson, William Runfeld, Luke Reimer, Fredrik Kierkegaard and Magnus Joransson completing that top 10. In 11th was Sander Brohlbeer with a misfortunate series of events midway through, but ahead of William Fries, who started from the pit lane and moved to 12th. Nicholas Lund took 13th ahead of Martin Bertelsen, with Asger Lauritsen after taking flight early on, finishing 15th. A lap down as Miguel Sigor, 2 laps down Miguel Njor, and then we did have the unfortunate early retirement from Philip Igor in 18th place. Wow, what a race. I think whilst we've got a bit of a breather, Daniel, we've got some interviews to jump to.
I'm looking forward. And how nice is it to see some different teams on the top, you know.
100%. But without further ado, I think let's jump to our interviews. And we're going to start off with none other than the man who took victory in our first race of the day, because joining us now in the interview is Leroy Malmros. Leroy, good evening to you, and your first win of the season. How is that?
I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just shaking.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, really. It was also really tricky, so it was really hard. But I just, when it started raining, I just took it slowly and I waited for my chance, and then it came.
Yeah, you had amazing patience, but also very precise driving. So congratulations. We have a question from the chat. How old are you, Leroy?
I am 12 years old.
That's amazing. What do you say, Paul? Was it?
I mean, to be fair, Leroy, if I could do what you're doing at the age of 12, I'd be absolutely amazed. You are incredible. Congratulations on taking your first win, and we wish you the best of luck in race number 2 coming up shortly.
Thank you.
Tillykke.
So hearing that from Leroy Malmros, he's over the moon with that, absolutely speechless and shaking. Well, I can tell you one thing, I think he's proud of himself there. But we come from him to our second place finisher, who joins us now in the interview room, because it is none other than Noah Carlson, who we hear from now. Noah, what a race that was, all the way to the end. You almost took the win. You're just short by a couple attempts, though.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate, but the race was so chaotic. I think I got a penalty at some point, but I haven't quite seen the replay. A lot happened that race.
I think Daniel might want to ask you a couple more questions on the technical side, because you were one of our most technical drivers out there when the rain arrived.
It was true, really well driven, Noah. Yeah, you got I think a 10-second penalty, but it's not as heavy because the difference between people in this wet conditions was you know, yeah. So it's not that hard of a penalty as it could have been if everyone was very close.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, but we love to seeing the battle with you.
Yeah.
It was so close and so many laps. So
yeah, definitely
driving.
Yeah, and I almost put myself in the wall quite a few times when it began to rain. That was really unexpected. So yeah,
we were surprised as well. We did not know rain was coming. So
no.
Yeah, but good luck for the next one.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
So here and there, ladies and gentlemen, from Noah Carlson, our runner-up on the road, but will be demoted back a couple of places as a result of a post-race penalty. But admitting there as well, he doesn't know what the penalty was necessary for, other than some form of contact, but don't like his professionalism there. I mean, Daniel, in those situations, you just had to think to yourself, I've got the penalty, I've got to move on there. You can look back afterwards, but you can't exactly sit there at the time and think, why have I got it? Because you've got a race still to run. And like he said, well, like we mentioned to him, he's actually not lost that much because of the rain.
Yeah, that's true. yeah, they are really on a high level. These drivers, even some of them are very young. It's really impressive. So good mentality there. Do we have a last interview or not?
Unfortunately not. It seems so our third place finisher of Morde Edup not available to be interviewed, or alternatively, all the equipment in his car's got so soggy that we're not going to be able to get an interview with him. But joking aside, it does give us just a minute to sort of cool down in the way. And ladies and gentlemen, it was absolute cinema at the end of race number 1. So if you do need to take that quick bathroom break, if you do need to very quickly go grab yourself a top up of popcorn or liquid refreshment, go do it quickly, because you haven't got long. We've got 30 seconds before we do go to the grid once again. And, well, I can't imagine what our season finale is going to... Well, our final race of the season is going to be. I mean, if that's what the organisers had in store for us, Daniel, with our penultimate race, are we going to be expecting monsoons and thunder for our final race?
I don't think so. But now they are at least prepared and they all have rain tires on. The question is, if there's going to be a dry patch in the middle and the tires are going to wear down, because, you know, the momentum is quite high on this track. It's pretty hard on the tires. So tire management is a thing for the next race, I think. And it's a 20-minute race coming up.
Oh, indeed, very well said. And this will be, in a way, a repeat of race number 2 from Ridskogen in round number 3, where we went from full-on wet conditions to a drying circuit right towards the end, and those wet tyres did wear down, like my colleague has just said. So that will keep us entertained even more than the brilliant racing we can expect to see on the circuit, as all of our drivers get ready to make their way onto the grid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time this season, we get ready to go green flag racing, and this is how they'll all line up. Frederik Kierkegaard starts in pole position with the top 8 inversion. Join him on the front row, William Runfeldt. Then we do have Marcus de Kilson starting third, ahead of Albert Quadup, with Albert Palais starting in 5th place. And incredible to think he took effectively what will now be his first podium of the season. Just ahead there will then be what was none other than Morde Edrup, and then we'll have Noah Carlson and Leroy Malmros completing that top 8 inversion. Marlon Shorensen 9th, ahead of Sander Brobert, and then we'll have William Fries and Luke Reimer completing your top 12, and outside the top 12, Nicholas Lund ahead of Asger Lauritsen, who'll be hoping to keep his car grounded through turn number 2 this time, with Martin Bertson in 15th ahead of Mikkel Sigor, and completing that starting order, the retirees from race 1 of Miguel Nyor and Philip Igor. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how our 18 starters line up for the final time this season. We are waiting for a couple of cars, and we do have a 2-minute wait on the grid there to give our drivers a bit of breathing room. So nerves will be high, Daniel.
I can just quickly make a little throw your guesses on how long it takes in the chat, how long it took me to do a blindfolded lap around this track, and you are in the competition of winning some lovely Dash subscriptions. The 3 best guesses will pick some winners after the race. Yeah, we are ready to see some real racing here, not blindfolded.
You're not throwing out ideas for next season's championship. They have to all do it blindfolded. Oh, dear.
The track actually looks very dry now.
Actually, that's a really good point. In fact, we've got several drivers who've gone back to slicks, and a few that are still... They're waiting, and I think the 2-minute wait period here on the grid, the longer we wait, of course, the quicker the circuit will be drying. So... we've got a lot going wet. We have got a few still going for slicks at the moment, including Leroy Malmros. Well, he got it right in race 1. He might get it right in race number 2. Perhaps he's our wet weather maestro, and Denmark's coming of Michael Schumacher, if you will. You never know. But Asger Lauritsen also... well, no, Lauritsen's gone onto the wets. Martin Bertson's gone onto the slicks, and also Nicholas Lund's on slicks, and Sander Brobert. So... most are on wet, and we do get these wonderful camera shots as well, thanks to our broadcast director showing you the close-up there of the tyres and what tyres they're going for. And you can see the tread blocks down the wet tyre versus the pure slick on the slick or dry tyre. What would you go for, Daniel? Would you go slick or dry?
I'm usually on the safe side, but yeah, time will tell. I think the green light in a moment, right?
Oh, indeed, and it's lights out, away we go. Perfect time, and there's our drivers get away. So who exactly now has made the right call on the tyres? Well, your top 8 have all gone for the wet tyre, and then behind we do have a few slick shot runners. It seems our slick shot runners struggling initially, as they do make their way down towards turn number 1. But William Runfeldt defending hard into the opening corner, but Frederik Kierkegaard tries to go around the outside. Small puddles of water there on the inside of turn number 2 will upset the cars a little bit, but making their way up the hill through turn number 3 now. We see Albert Quadrant there. He's had a really good start, up 2 places already, up in the second. He's going to try and take the lead here by the time they get to Repsol Bend at 4. But all the field coming down here, it's been a much cleaner start this time, Daniel. I think everyone's just realised with these conditions, you can't afford to be aggressive at the start.
Yeah, but I'm amazed if any one of them is still on slicks and keeping it on track like that. That's really impressive.
Melde
is up on 50. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, I'm just looking at the positions, and I see Melde is already advancing a little. Albert has made the biggest progress so far. Now let's see.
As they fan the way out of turn number 17 towards 9, well, we can see there Winfeld having to go defensive versus Palle, who's trying to still go around the outside of him, but that's going to open the door to more the Edrup. Cars running wide there. Oh, that's going very sideways. It goes round. And in the end, that's some brilliant reactions there from our driver to avoid. Now, the driver who has gone around is none other than, I do believe, I'm quite sure that's Sander Robert's car, but I think it might be, in fact, Philip Eagle's car that's gone round. But either way, that could have been far worse than it was, but well done to everyone for taking evasive action on that one. These guys, they know how to react.
Yeah, and if we had the championship points on the side, we could see a live scoring. That is changing every lap. It's so crazy, and nothing is settled for this championship, so all points are still counting here. And side by side going here. Is that going to be 3 wide into T1 in a moment? I think so.
3 wide down here in these cars and these conditions right now. Well, to be fair, our driver's got the ability for it. Just do not brake on that white line, whatever you do, because that white pit exit line will send you off the road. It has no grip compared to the tarmac. The painted lines there are your worst enemy in these conditions. Just about dodge it. We do see Fredrik Kierkegaard leading at the moment. We have a quarter behind, then we've got a half a second gap build into William Runfeldt in third. But again, this is just the start. We're not even 5 minutes in. We'll see there's a car runs very wide. That's Leroy Mount Ross, unfortunately, who we've lost at turn number 3. He comes on back there. Keep in mind, of course, he is running. He is currently the highest placed slick runner, and he hasn't been too bad on slick pace, so he's hoping he'll be rewarded later on in the race. More to Edrup up the inside of Luke Reimer.
Yes, Luke actually advanced 7 positions already in this heat, so that's really impressive. And he wants the points because Victor, the current P2 in the championship, is not here, so the points up for grab.
Up for grabs there, as we do see a bit more side by side between drivers, and well, run wide there from William Runfeldt once again, but this time keeping it on the road. Number 2, oh goodness me, that is coming quick. That's Noah Carlson just diving up the inside. Where on earth did he come from there in towards turn number 10?
Yeah, he's got no time to waste. He just wants to get a move on. He's trying to make up for the penalty he got in the last race.
100%. I mean, I think that man right now is going so quick. He wants to get to the 2027 season like that.
Yeah, take note that in some places there's basically no spray as well. A few places it's very, very low. Of course, some places it's much more. So yeah, with 16 minutes remaining, the wet tires can be your enemy. But yeah, nothing is settled yet.
Undoubtedly, and well, we still do have so much time available as we do see our leaders still working together. That was 2 wide behind Reimer and Edrup together. Of course, these 2 Arctic Sim Racing teammates. Reimer, they've been squeezed a little bit onto the apex of turn number 2, and then Edrup gives him the space on the exit to make sure he holds the inside of 3. So playing it tactically here, but just about risking everything. Now, we should point out that we do have a black flag for the number 22 of William Frieshofer, and that is for starting the race on the grid rather than the pit lane. He did have a penalty that carried over from the previous race there, so you will see him have to come into the pit soon. Otherwise, that will be upgraded to a further penalty. But we will keep you abreast of that when we can, ladies and gentlemen. But otherwise, everyone right now absolutely green to go racing as it's chop and change into the hairpin there at turn number 5. And we can see, in fact, right now, this train of drivers, well, the top 2 are trying not to fight as we ride on board with Albert Quadrup. And at this point, Daniel, from your perspective, when you're following the car in the dry, I mean, the only thing you really have to worry about there is your line and perhaps the dirt here. In the wet here, you've got a little bit of spray as well inside that cockpit. I mean, does it change the way you drive when you're following another driver in the wet?
Not with this amount of spray, it doesn't matter. But when you have a whole field or pack, then it's different. But this amount of spray doesn't change anything in my perspective, honestly.
Indeed, light amount of spray coming off the back of these cars at the moment. Therefore, visibility much better than it could potentially be, and that's not encouraging the rain to come back at any point. As we do look back to our 23 driver here of William Runfeld, the man who started right towards the very front on what was the front row of the grid. He's fallen back to 6th, but he's still in this as well. He's had some brilliant performances this season, and indeed bringing home what was that absolutely superb victory. I do believe all the way back. We've had not a win. He was on the podium at one point, but right now just enjoying himself out there.
And on the camera it says William, but I think actually that's Sander Broberg, to be honest. That's a small technical mistake. Speaking about spray, actually, let's look in T1 here, who keeps it. You can also use it to identify, looking at the car ahead, you know, to see where, okay, your competitor is driving through this section, and you're looking how much spray is coming out of his car, and you know what line is better for what, you know, and where to attack, where not to attack, and where he's struggling, where he's not struggling. So you use the information to your advantage going behind. So that's what you can use the spray for at current position. They're going side by side, even though a dry part and a wet part of the track. So they are really very skilled. I think that's a short way of saying it.
Indeed, I think I'd agree with you there. There's other ways to describe it. Some would say that our drivers are absolutely mad for doing so, but no, it is their talents of ball display. But this fighting is causing to spread out a little bit, and now our top 3 are starting to just gap a little bit to Luke Reimer. And then we do have Noah Carlson, who's very close on the back of Reimer at the moment. As they come over the crest and down towards turn number 10. Indeed, all these drivers doing an absolutely brilliant job here keeping together. As we come to Miguel Segal, he's had a bit of a difficult day, but right now he's fighting his way up the order.
Yeah. Yeah, then he's battling not his teammates, so no one is gonna give it to him for free. This is a true battle we have here. As mentioned earlier that Luke had 7 positions up, he's actually 8 positions up now, so that's really good effort from him, and he's really taking the points on this track today if he can keep it at that, making a good amount of points for the overall championship. And yeah, I think it would be a top 3 for him. As Mikkel Siggaard, which we are here, he's on P8 right now.
He's also gained 8 places compared to where he started in 16th, so therefore he's on a mission here just to salvage some points out of today. And right now he would not be improving his final point score because he does need to improve a 33 score from earlier on in the season, so therefore he could be at full outside of the top 3. But we get the wonderful split screen here where you can see the leaders right now all running in formation, but meanwhile at the bottom of your screen you do have what's that side by side between Segal and Gilson. Run wide different driver behind, that's Miguel Njord taking a brief trip to the runoff area. They all come too wide on round right now. Well, the circuit's still drying up, and all the drivers you see on the screen currently on wet tyres. You've still got Leroy Manross down in 12th place. He's 6 seconds behind all these drivers, but is he closing? That's what we're waiting to see. Oh, that's gone round. That's Miguel Njord going for a spin coming out of turn number 5. I'm not quite sure if he was touched, but I can tell you one thing right now, he won't be touched by the fact he's got all that work to do once again.
Yeah, the points are lost, unfortunately. What could have been, didn't. But yeah, they're all struggling for grip, definitely, out there. And nothing is given. You really need to have full focus on each every corner and every braking. You don't have ABS on these cars as far as I remember, right?
You'd be correct, no ABS, and I do believe no traction control either, so you've got to do it all the hard way using your right and left feet to modulate the car. And well, that moment there we did see from Miguel Njord, a bit of a side-to-side contact through the hairpin, no malice meant. I think it would be deemed a racing incident, just a rubber 2 cars. And when you are on the inside in that situation, the physical rebound you get from that contact can send the car very quickly around because you've got no grip on your rear right tyre at that point. But as Modder Edrup following Fredrik Kier, who got across the line, we are just at the halfway point now. It's crazy to think we've still got half the race to go. This circuit is still drying at a rate of knots as well. Lap time wise, just keep an eye. Leroy Manross is now matching the leaders on his dry tyres. He's lapping at the same pace as the wet runners here. I wonder if he could catch up towards the very end.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm happy you have these data. You're so quick at looking at all this data. But yeah, halfway through the race, and if you're already matching the leaders, then interesting. Plus, they are battling quite hard, so let's see how it is.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. This could yet have a twist in the tail, ladies and gentlemen. But as we do see our top four, they've all calmed down a little bit. I think they've all read the room here, which is they can't afford to fight these tyres. Well, the battle for 5th through to 8th right now is intensifying so much they've thrown the script out the door, because we do see William Rumfeld there on the inside of our Carlson. Carlson right now, he'll defend where it's on the outside, the inside, on a curb, on the grass. He'll defend anywhere because he's so addicted to the race, and we love to see it. Nicholas Igor B. Riot, meanwhile, just sits there at 8th place. I think he wants to get involved, but the problem is, Daniel, he just, every time he goes to look for a move, there's not just one car there, there's 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think we are blessed. I think this entire season has been so many amazing battles, and I really enjoy this racing a lot more than a given big series in the world. I really think the racing is so close and so tight and unpredictable every time, and I really enjoy it. It's so nice to see.
With you on that, and the great thing is, of course, a lot of the drivers you do see here, they spend plenty of time not just racing on the simulator but in real life karting. We also do have TCR Denmark racers here as well. I mean, you name it, they are trying to make careers, and the simulator a core part of it. A big thing to iRacing for enable them to realise their motorsporting careers, or at least take those steps forward, if you will. But still, a bit more time to go here as they head on down. Our top 4 there, you can see at the bottom of your camera. Now in fact 2 seconds clear of this 4-way fight for 5th place, as that's going to be Sigurd taking a sneaky peek up the inside of Marcus de Kilson, squeezing in, rubber the wheels there, that's going to send him out wide. He just straightens the steering wheel in time. Very well caught there by our number 6 driver, and no wonder that he's been so good in the championship this season. That's car control, and well, very quick to react there.
Yeah, and did you notice all the water, standing water on the curbs? So you cannot even though you save it, you just can't go on throttle very fast. So you need to adapt very much. Speaking of real car racing, then Malte, who's our championship winner probably, he was actually on this track because he's doing in Catalunya here. He's doing the GT3 in a real GT3 car this season, so he was actually practicing in a Ferrari 296 here some weeks ago, so he knows the track pretty well.
Oh, indeed, that's a really good point. Racing as part of the 2026 GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Championship. I do believe, like you're saying, the Ferrari 296 GT3, and we look forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do over the course of the season. A big opportunity for him, but right now, whether it's a Ferrari in real life or an F4 on the simulator, we're still looking for more places to overtake. And right now, Frederik Kierkegaard keeping it behind just for that little bit longer here. 7 minutes left after this lap. They are going to have at least another 4 laps to go. An update on Leroy Malmros, meanwhile. He's trying to find his way at the moment up towards Albert Pallet for 10th place. So he seems to be struggling a little bit. He's matching the pace, but he's not beating the pace of the wet run.
Yeah.
So I think this is
not
wet
catching.
race.
Yeah, it's not it's too far away to make it possible. But look at this. It's also about racecraft, you know, getting the feel of positioning the car correctly, and the more you race, the better it is. So I think Malte really uses this and loves this, as this is his moment right now, and it's quite amazing that actually he's P1 now again.
He's P1 at the moment, but he
Somehow.
may... That's a bit of a run wide there from Frederik Kierkegaard, who brings it back on. Crazy how in the end you just have to be so brazen, just chuck the car across the curb. It's probably got a lot of standing water in it, and just pray it's going to come back on. As Albert Quadrup, who we haven't really seen chase the podium this season, it's his prime opportunity to take a podium here today. Luke Reimer's still with him there. And then we do have, of course, the familiar 4 of Reimer, Rumfeld, Sigor, and Kilson all together there. So we've got packs of 4 forming. And indeed, right now, you could not make this up. This is perfect symmetry in the field. Big hit of spray of water there for Noah Carlson at the bottom of your pitch. I think finding a puddle on the inside of turn 6 that nobody wanted to touch, and he drove into it. Our leaders, meanwhile, they're not fighting as much. More the edge up here. Oh, that's a bit of a run wide there from Luke Reimer.
Yeah, just the tiniest mistake, and you are out. Yeah, 5 minutes to go. I don't know. The track actually still seems a bit wet, so it's not like it's drying up that much. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem for them.
we say that. I've just double-checked the last lap that Leroy Malmros did, a 51.9. Our leaders, 53.2s. Don't say it's over yet. This could still have a twist. Malmros is now into 10th place. He's just off camera, past none other than Albert Palace. So he is on the march. We're going to keep you abreast of him, ladies and gentlemen, as well as all the fighting going on our screens at the moment. I mean, there's action everywhere. I don't know how our broadcast director is able to keep up, to be fair, but he's done a solid job this season as well. And, well, meanwhile, as our drones cover down, 3 more laps to go. And Fredrik Kierkegaard right now trying to find a way through, daring to touch the curb. I think he may not have wanted to do that, Daniel.
Yeah, this is good. It's really good. And the more they battle and struggle with the tires, the more Leroy can make up. But he's quite far away to really gain on this. It's a bit on the short side with the time left. But he is. You're right. He's going faster and faster than everyone else.
See as our leaders battle side by side, but not fighting too hard at the moment, but a top 3 that may return to becoming a top 4 shortly. And then you do have that 5-car pack that's got Malmros now very much a character in it. Oh, that's wheel-to-wheel contact there between the top 2. And then Kierkegaard gets ahead, an innocent bit of contact there, but still it could have big consequences. Not quite as we can see that drying line on the circuit really become prominent at certain points. At the bottom of your screen, that's going to be none other than William Runfeldt getting back ahead of Noah Carlson for now for 7th place. And then there is Malmros just behind with Asger Lauritsen following. So Malmros now up into 9th place and setting the fastest laps of the day. So he's going to get a bonus point for that. As leaders all coming down, they're all so close to the inside. And Albert Quadrup says, if nobody's going to use the room or the road, I'll use it instead.
Yeah. Frederik is 5th in the championship, and he needs to get more points than Luke Reimer and Mikkel Siggaard. Mikkel is not possible, I think, but yeah. So they are really fighting for the last points of the championship right now. So every point counts, except for Matlin. He's away.
Can't get away from this brilliant fight in freeway fight code through turn 11 into 12. Luke Reimer glues himself to the back of this once again. This is absolutely thrilling stuff. 2 more laps to go before we do see the final checkered flag of the 2026 season as they make their way down the straight. Well, they're right now trying to make it a 9th win. Reimer here gambling on that inside line, just finding enough space to go for 3rd. Does he get it here? Not quite. Fredrik Kierkegaard just able to outrun him out of the corner. Reimer switching back from one side to the other, trying to poke and pro, trying to go where the car hasn't previously gone. Again, the fact it's still a wet circuit, they drift sideways. They're more sideways than straight coming out the corner.
Yeah, and they're actually, you know, on this long straight, they're cooling the tires. I just have a look at Leroy's last lap time. That's
no
5 seconds faster than than these guys. So
he's fine. Look, there he's in the rear of the picture.
He's
absolutely
making moves.
Fine. He could win this.
I don't. That's a long shot, but honestly, he is there. He is there. That's insane. He cannot do that. He cannot do that. Okay.
Indeed, if you're looking at his car right now, you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, these slick tyres there, no tread on those tyres. Of course, the one thing he's got to do is firstly get close to the top 4. He's got this lap plus 1 more to go. After that, he's got to overtake them. But I'm sure you'll mention it, Daniel, is the fact that overtaking on a dry tyre on a wet circuit, you're going to have to go offline. You're going to find wet patches when you do it.
Yeah, but then again, the leaders are on the different path, so it's not that bad. But yeah, this is quite interesting. Honestly, I didn't see him come up this quick, but look at this. This is amazing. Oh, no!
That's going to entangle the wheels there. He's going to look round the outside.
Patience. He needs patience. And he also needs to send it. Oh, no.
Oh my good lord. I mean, I've never seen somebody literally turn a Formula 4 into a skateboard. I think that would be called a 50-50 if we're playing Tony Hawk's Pro Underground.
Yeah, you're right.
He makes way down the straight. He knows he just cost himself a chance here. Here he goes. Can the number 13 driver, who took his first win of the season last time out, Sonny still away? 2 wins here today as our top 3 make the way onto the final lap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we win the season finale on tenterhooks, we have got it. Morda Edrup, your champion-elect, still holding off Albert Quadrup, Luke Reimer in 3rd, and Leroy Malmros in 4th place, trying to go around the outside here. He's going to go for it. That's another place ticked off. 2 to go for him. I mean, surely, Daniel, at this point, anything's possible.
This is amazing. This is completely crazy. He's on P3 now. Look, he can take completely different lines. Now he needs patience, as he had in the last race. You know, no need to. He cannot make mistakes. As you just saw, it was very expensive just before this.
lovely switch back
Swing
there.
shot, yeah.
Just sliding away, and now that's up in the second there for Leroy Malross. One more to go here, and I mean, he has come up behind the final boss of the race, which is of course the champion. And here he goes, looks to the inside. Surely he's going to have this. Not quite, he hasn't quite got the grip on the inside with the water.
He's
so
got this. He's got this. He got this.
Here we go, and
Don't
well,
push him.
Andrew,
Yeah, you take.
squeezing him. Go on, go on, go on.
No, you say you keep this commentation. Let's see.
Oh, fair play. He's going to try and look around the outside, and as they make the way through, well, he's not going to find the space there. He'll look around the outside again now. He's tried it once. He's going to try it twice. And as he goes out, he'll take the lead. Leroy Malross jumps into lead there.
Oh, my God.
He says it all here. He can't believe it. Nobody can believe it. We're all losing it here. And all he's got is one more corner. And as he comes on down through turn 13, all he's got to do here is not get it wrong. The checkered flag awaits him, and he becomes a two-time winner in the season finale. Both fingers up there to say, I've done it twice. Leroy Malross confounds everybody with the slick tyre in the wet. Mother Edrup takes the runner-up spot. He's grinning as your champion for 2026. Provisionally subject to any final stewards inquiries, and Albert Quadrup will take a maiden podium here in Spain in third. But what an ending, Daniel. I don't believe it.
Yeah, you were calling it about the lap times, and I was a bit pessimistic, saying that's not possible. But it was. It's incredible. He took a gamble and he won. Even Malte is smiling. You know, he's thinking it's so cool.
Incredible ending to the race. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, how about that? That has got to be the best showcase reason why every year the F4 Esports Danish Championship has proven to be such an incredible championship. And Leroy Malross taking his second and with the final win of the season, and with those points as well, I do believe that is going to catapult him quite happily up into what will be 7th place in the championship provisionally. Don't quote us on that, and I'm sure we'll get a word with him shortly. But here are your results, subject to any stewards inquiries after 11 laps. Leroy Malross, your winner for Kinetic Sim Sport, ahead of Mother Edrup, and then we will see in third Albert Quadrup ahead of Luke Reimer, and Sander Robert completing your top 5. Fredrik Kierkegaard in 6th ahead of Mikkel Seegaard, and it was Marcus de Kilson, William Rumfeld and Noah Carlson completing your top 10. And in 11th place, we had none other than Asger Lauritsen, head of Albert Palle, with Nicholas Lund, Martin Bertsen, and Magnus Jorensen completing the top 15. Philip Igor in the end finished in 16th place, last of your lead lap finishers, and it was Miguel Newell 3 laps down, and William Fries unfortunately retiring from the race due to a disqualification penalty. But with that race complete, well, I think it's time that we got our final interviews underway. Daniel, if you're ready, I'm ready too.
Yeah, I'm ready, but I was not ready for this result.
Oh, indeed. I don't think anybody was. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's start from the top then. We spoke to him once. We're not going to speak to him again because he was your winner in race 1 today. He's your winner once again, Leroy. I mean, well done. What an incredible drive. That has got to be... We're not allowed to have favourites, but I think we're allowed to say this. This has got to be the best win of the season. You delivered it. What a call from yourself. How do you feel?
I mean, I feel even better now after the second one, but yeah, it was really not the easiest today. But this is like really big gamble, and yeah, it was really risky, but I managed to pull it off in the end.
That's true. Stort tillykke, Leroy. When did you take the decision to go with slicks?
You're not gonna believe me, but immediately.
Okay.
My like
intuition.
Team principal Kenneth, he said go slicks because the track would dry out so quickly, and I was just like, yeah, trust him.
He's in interview, and the mic locks out.
Yeah,
but big congratulations, Leroy.
But yeah, thank you.
That's some good points also. You should be proud of this one.
Really.
Keep this as a recording, and and keep driving. People ask you, are you streaming some racing? Do you have a Twitch yet?
I have. I do not stream so often, but I can if people want to watch.
Maybe you should do that soon. Yeah, you can tell your Twitch, and I'll write it in the chat.
Yeah, it's just Leroy Malross, to be honest. So
okay.
It doesn't
got anything, Paul?
I mean, Leroy's left me absolutely speechless. All I can say, Leroy, is congratulations for 2 epic wins today. Whilst you may not be our champion for this season, I definitely think you've earned yourself the title of one of the people's favourites for this season. And we look forward to plenty more racing from yourself in the months and years ahead, including on your Twitch channel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So here and there for him, Leroy Malross. I mean, absolutely incredible. You can see the confidence on him all the way through. But of course, after hearing from our winner, we must hear from the man who finished runner-up in this one. It's Morde Edrup, who now joins us in the interview room. Morde, congratulations on second place in this one. I mean, the grin on your face when Leroy went around the outside of you right at the end there. I think you knew the win wasn't possible. But to be fair, you are our 2026 champion provisionally, so it's not all bad, to be fair.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really had fun this race, and Leroy was the only one bold enough to go on slicks. So yeah, really congrats to him. That was a really good drive, and I knew on the last lap that he was so much faster. But I gave it all, and unfortunately it didn't hold. But I'm really happy.
Brilliant. Well, over to Daniel, who I think might have a question or two for you.
Yeah, I just want to say tillykke, definitely, with the championship, and I'm actually really happy to see you in this race, because you theoretically, you did win already, but we see you love the racecraft, right?
Yeah, we also tried a bit in the first race, me and Frederik. We tried to do a bit more racing in the early part of the race, so I really had fun this time.
Yeah, it was clear to see, and we really enjoy that. And it's nice, clean racing, but it also opens up a lot of possibilities. And congratulations on the championship, and good luck with the real racing this season. We're gonna keep an eye on you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. See you.
So here and there from our champion, Morde Edrup, and indeed absolutely proud of his achievements. But of course, we need to hear from the last of our drivers to take a podium this season, his first and only podium this season, I do believe as well. Joining us now is Albert Quadrup. Albert, good evening to you. What a solid drive to wrap up your season. Third place, almost at one point taking the win, almost second as well, but to be fair, a well-earned podium.
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, I would have fought Malte at the end, but Leroy was just coming so fast, so we're just trying to defend as much as we could, but yeah, we couldn't do anything in the end.
Well, fair play, and I think Daniel might have a question or two for you.
Yeah, and tillykke to you as well. But that's some good points actually you got here, right?
Yeah, it was my best round.
Yeah,
so
and for the championship as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm P14 B for this round, so yeah, it hasn't been going that well, but yeah, good points anyways.
Yeah, I think with this result, with the podium here, then you're gonna advance. Maybe not top 10, but very close. So that's really good. But good to see some good racing, and let's see you up on the podium a bit more next time.
Yeah, I hope so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So here and there from our final podium finisher of the season, ladies and gentlemen, Albert Quadrup. His first and only podium this season, but as Daniel was saying, hope we get to see him on the podium even more. I mean, that's the season complete, Daniel. What a season it's been.
Yeah, as I just wrote in a guy in the chat right here from Race UK, writing that it's more exciting than watching F1. You know, I think the racing is so good, and we've had so many incredible finishes, and even though Malte has just ran away with it somehow, we've had so much good racing in with him, but also without him in throughout the field. I really enjoy this class, and it surprises me every year, but I really think this was one of the best ones again.
Oh, without a doubt. And to confirm, ladies and gentlemen, your provisional 2026 champion, he has defended his crown successfully, is Morde Edrup. And, well, your runners-up in the end, I do believe, subject to confirmation from points, this is just an estimate we've done, will be Victor Nilsson taking the run-up spot and Mikkel Siegel completing that top three. But again, that is subject to confirmation. But an incredible season, the big names up there. But every step of the way, we have also seen plenty of fresh faces and plenty of veterans charge after wins. But there's no doubt in it, Modder Edrup, in the end, your dominant driver all the way through for the 2026 season, and we have to bring the curtain down, ladies and gentlemen, on this latest rendition of the FIA F4 Esports Danish Championship. But it has been an absolute blast as we do say goodbye. Well, it's goodbye for myself firstly in the commentary booth. I've been Paul Walsh, and alongside me has been none other than Daniel Nestorica Clausen. We'd also like to give a huge shout out for iRacing for allowing us to host this series on the simulator platform, and of course the brilliant guys and girls at RaceSpotTV for providing these broadcasts every fortnight from all the rounds. And well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you in 2027 or next time out on the road. But until then, remember to stay safe, stay well, stay smiling, and most importantly, remember to stay on track. Good night.